Hi there, I'm back out on a little field which I've been to once before and it is great fun. I've not found anything particularly early on it so far, but it's next to an adjoining field round the corner where I have found some Roman bits and pieces and some crotal bells. It's particularly pretty round here. Hi there and welcome to some channel news. As you've probably noticed, I have renamed the channel, rebranded the channel because I think it better suits what I want the channel to do. I always started this channel off in order to be able to do shorter videos because I don't think the shorter videos help the longer videos on Holzhammer sagas. In a perfect world, I want Holzhammer sagas just to feature really epic hunts and when I find really nice things. But as I said time and time again, as the tech tourists know, there are thousands of times we don't find anything, and I want to be able to show the odd time that I'm out finding just a couple of good things without having to pad it out and make a sort of full-length proper film out of it. So Holzhammer Light will deal with basically shorter films, snappier films, films that take me less time to edit, quite frankly, and films of where I might just do films on research and cleaning and all sorts of things. Basically, shorter, snappier films belong on this channel, Holzhammer Light. And they may not be typical, where's your ball? Where's your ball? Go on. And they may not be typical one session films either, that I might do all sorts of little bits, adding bits here and there. But the main thing is they will probably all be between about 5 and 15 minutes long. And I hope you enjoy them. And it will leave Holzhammer sagas free just to show the days that are really good. And I won't worry about a shorter video on Holzhammer sagas pulling the rest of the channel down. Anyway, I hope that sort of makes sense. It sort of does to me. And let's go back to the fields. There's a river just in there, and we are getting definitely close to where it will flood when the water is high. And I'm not particularly experienced on this sort of land, so I'm just having a go. But I have just found, I'm afraid I'm detecting very light today. I didn't have my big camera with me or anything like that. I've just got two small ones and a phone. And so I don't even have my speaker hooked up. It's a bit exploratory today, but I might beep some beeps in. We're, gosh, what, 20 metres off the river? And look at this. Now, I've always felt that very close to the river, floody parts are no good, but this has completely proven me wrong because it's a tiny little hammered coin. Let's have a look. And right, there's a shield on that side. And I'm guessing Elizabeth on the other, and it is, look at that. I think it's Elizabeth, hard to tell sometimes. But what a lovely start. That's the first signal I've dug. Oh, tiny little hammered coin in beautiful condition. I'm absolutely thrilled. It's a little Elizabeth the first penny, I think. Gosh, well, let's hope that's the start of something brilliant. I said in one of my recent videos what an amazing time I'm having, and I'm due a bit of a bad one. Well, the last 4 times I've been out have been rubbish. So let's just hope this one's a goodie. Well, I've been here about an hour, I suppose. I've found a lot of coins and they're not coming out in very good condition. I suspect they're all Georgian, very thin. There's a modern 2p, a nice big button. Nothing to write home about yet. They've all been very obvious signals. And then this rather interesting piece of lead with loads of markings on it. But I think it's just where it's been pressed into something to fix it or to mend it. I don't think it's any more special than that. But it does look rather wonderful on first seeing it. And then this. Now there's lots of cartridges and rifle rounds. This is deep, what I've got here. So I thought I'd better record it. You may not have heard any of that because I didn't have my mic on. Is now. Yeah, now it's just a whisper. Still there, just a whisper. Ooh. Right, we're at least 10 inches deep now. And that's where it is. Right on the bottom there. Pinpointing well today. You'll be pleased to hear. That's a very tricky technique to master. Resting the detector on your bottom like that. Well, I'll teach you one day. I think it's still in there. Yeah, I mean, it really is. I'm new to the field, so I'm digging everything, shallow and deep, just to see what... Right, we're out. You won't be able to hear it, but I can. In fact, I'm not going to bother because I can see it. And it's another coin. It's another completely toasted Georgian coin at 13 inches. I mean, I don't know what really to do. I don't want to really be finding toasted Georgian coins all day. But I've got to dig them because I don't know what's here. Hopefully there'll be a bit more silver, which will come out a bit better. Well, I've come to this section where I found a couple of really nice Roman coins, and I've got the feeling that people have been apart from me. There's a load of really shoddy fill-in holes everywhere, and there's also an incredible length of chain, iron chain, which has just been left there, and there's no way in hell I would have dug that. And therefore I'm afraid I think someone's been down here, but you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. I've just found this little lead token. Now I can see 3 sort of petals, but it's unlike any of the sort of farm tokens that I've found. It's just, I don't know, there's something about it which makes me feel it might be a bit earlier. Now I don't know much about Roman tokens. They're not called tokens. Are they patera or pateri? Something like that. And I think it might be one of those. And if it is, then I'm thrilled. It just feels a bit older than the sort of 17th century, 16th century farm tokens one finds. But we'll see. And talking about Roman, very quick intermission to yesterday when the sun was glorious and I found a really good coin. Well, this is quite nice and gave a nice sound, and well, it's a Roman coin, no doubt about that, but I'm wondering if it might be silver. It's got a definite silver sheen to it. It might be a silica or siliqua. I can't remember, I don't know exactly how they're pronounced. I think it's Roman. I think that's got a lot of silver content in it. Got the wreath on that side, which is quite typical of siliquas, and you can see Vot and XX or whatever it is, Votis. As you know, I detect very, very light, and the last thing I carry is a girly spritzer, so excuse me for putting a little bit of that on it, just to see if I can bring anything up. I think that might be a siliqua, and I'm really pleased with that. Yes, it's definitely silver or silvered. We'll clean that up. And that's quite exciting, because if it is silver, then it's the first silver coin, Roman coin I found on this field. Hooray! God, how exciting. I think that's going to clean up really nicely. I'm pleased with that. I've just got that massive thrill of when I had a signal I could seriously not really even hear, but there was just the faintest whisper, and I've been playing around with the reactivity on the dais recently because a few of you are saying you should lower it. Now, by lowering the reactivity I might get a bit more depth, but I'm not actually hearing, when I get a really faint signal and I lower it to see, it doesn't make an awful lot of difference, and what is happening is I can hear other falsing around it. Now, my settings which are here may not be the best for pasture, but I'm so used to knowing exactly what it's giving me that I can dig a signal at now coming up to 12, 14 inches. Now it might just be iron, but it was so faint. Anyway, it's just, even if it is iron, it's just lovely when you get such a faint signal and you dig and there is something there, you know. Well done, you know, clever me for keeping going. Now, sometimes I stop when it's really, really deep, i.e. the pinpointer's not really giving much, at serious depth. It's probably more likely than not to be really deep iron, and I suspect I have missed a hoard or two over the years for not digging those things. But anyway, this is proper deep, and it probably is iron. It is iron, I can see it. All the way down there, just that squeak, a really old piece of irony nail. But you know, it's quite fun, that, because you're really pitting yourself. I mean, that is going to deceive you at that depth, but I don't want, by lowering the activity, to be fooled more and more by these, which I think I will. So I'm just going to stick where I am on my reactivity. Sorry if that means absolutely nothing to you if you're not a Deus user. And I hope you enjoyed the last little bit about the little Roman coin I just found. Well, this coin didn't come out that well at all from cleaning. It's a really odd one. I still think it's a Siliqua. It's just thin and brittle, and the cleaning I've done on it so far I don't think's helped it. And if it is silver, it will definitely benefit from a round of electrocution or electrolysis. Don't try electrolysis on bronze coins or copper coins. They do not fare well, but I think this is in too much of a state now. I don't really mind so much. I'll give it a shot, because if it is a Siliqua, I mean, it could look really good. I won't go into Siliquas now either, but they're a really interesting little late imperial silver coin, and they usually are very thin and they often don't survive very well. I'll do a video on Siliquas another time, but what I'll need is this. I don't have an electrocution kit set up at the moment, but you don't need very much to do it. You need a plastic receptacle to put your electrolyte in, which is warm water and salt, saline solution. You need an old phone charger. You split that up. You put a crocodile clip at the end of each of the two wires that are in there. One holds your coin and one holds the other thing, which I can't remember the name of right at the minute, but it's a piece of metal that you need to make the whole thing work. As you can see, I'm not very technically up on the terminology, but I have done a lot of it before, so I do consider myself semi-expert, but I don't have time to do it now. But if you'd like to see how electrolysis works on something like this, then leave a message in the description and I'll get onto it on this channel. Oh my God, look at these two. So little, tiny. Hello, you two. Go on, stretch. Oh, stretch. Where's your mum? Gosh, you're tiny, aren't you? Go on, off you go. Where is she? Well, here's a slightly nicer one. Facing that way, I think it can only be George II. I would also... George I that way, George II that way. I can see double two there. And before that, it was William faced that way, and then Charles II facing that way, I think. But Charles II, I don't think it had copper coins of this size. I don't think. Anyhow, there's a 2 there, which I think makes it George II. Now that's nice. That's not a nice, worn, wonky coin. Completely charming. I'm pleased with that. Well, that sounded really ballsy and very like all the rifle casings I've been digging up today. There's a lot of shooting gone on here of all sorts, but it's not. It's a buckle. It's a jolly nice buckle. Now, I don't think it's the oldest buckle in the world, but it's in brilliant condition. And I've given it a little nick, I think, just there. Not a bad one. Isn't that lovely? Nice big one. And it's just the way it's cast, just feels to me very slightly earlier. Maybe early Tudor, I'm guessing. Perhaps late medieval. But really nice. That's a real treat. I'm pleased with that. There's stuff here. There's no rubbish here. It's just cartridges, rifle casings, Georgian coins. But there doesn't seem to be an awful lot that much earlier. But that's proof that there is. It's a lovely one. Just quickly, I have found a lot of coins today, my God, of all denominations from Georgian onward. Well, that Elizabethan one, can't disclude that, obviously. But my God, I must have, hang on, all the bits and pieces. 7, 8, that's a button. 2, an old Elizabeth II halfpenny. That's definitely a George III. I can see him there. That's another George III. I can see him there. And that's not including that nice George II one we found. Yeah, look at them all. And as I said, this could be another. Plenty of signals. That's really squeaky, I'm afraid. You can't hear it, sorry. But it's not going to be any good. God, I got that wrong. It's just here. Sounding a bit nicer. It might even be coke, even though I haven't found any yet. It's a tiny button. Just a tiny button. Well, I've just dug another absolutely monster hole. And I mean, it's the depth of the pinpointer, and again, all the way down there on a really wispy signal. And it's out. You won't be able to hear, I'm so sorry, but this is my own personal thing. Is it iron? Is it iron? No, it's not. It's looking like it's going to be copper. It's a dull sound, but it's not iron. My God, what a... Here it is. I can't believe it. From all the way down there. This machine, I think they're trained to tell... let's wait for that plane to go past. Back in plane country. It's just a harness ring, an old harness ring. I can see the file marks and the chamfering. But my God, I mean, to find that at 14 inches. Wow. Well, that's been a really fun day. Nothing to really write home about, I'm afraid. But thank you very much for joining me, and see you next time.